Today and tomorrow in the 2022 Dakar are stages that circle around the capital city of Riyadh. And in an interesting way, with the quads and the bikes taking one route, the cars taking another, and then them swapping for tomorrow's edition. I think that might actually be a first in Dakar history that something like that has happened around the same point. Because typically when they have different routes, it's that they're both ended up in the same place, but it's not that they're ending where they started, and it's not that they do what's happening here. But the Dakar is the Dakar, and it always has all kinds of other bits and pieces in store. Stories from today in the car category include a win for Henk Lattegen, a first win for the South African, whilst his TGR compatriot Gilles de Villiers has a 5-hour penalty for a second collision in this edition of the Dakar involving a cyclist. He was given a suspended disqualification for the first one, but because the second one was in a separate kind of nature, and the first one was more for him failing to stop, it was only a 5-hour penalty. I say only. But in the stage, he was 6th. One of the interesting ones, though, is with Loeb in 2nd and Alatia in 7th in the World Rally Raid Championship, or the W2RC as it's known. Loeb now takes the lead in that championship from Alatia. Though that said, with the final classification bearing lots of points when we get to the end of the Dakar, we could expect to see the Qatari driver surge through the rankings. Overall, it is now Alatia with a 35-minute lead over Loeb. The two of them were together for most of the day, and I found that really cool about this Dakar, is they're both in different manufacturers, but they've both been together for, I think, most of the stages at some point or another, which you used to see happen when Mitsubishi were dominating the series, or when VW were, or Peugeot, but you didn't really see it with other manufacturers. 3rd and 4th are still the O-Drive Toyotas, but it's now Alvarez ahead of Al-Raji. Al-Raji lost 11 minutes today checking on a compatriot who'd had a heavy crash, and he was given that time back. But the time loss that he had through the rest of the stage was enough that his teammate overtook him. And we still have Vasiliev in 5th position. What's weird is the highest up Audi is 16th. It's Matthias Ekstrom with Emil Bergqvist alongside. Carlos Sainz is in 22nd, though he lost time today switching his suspension with Stefan Petterhansel. Shock absorber went in Sainz's Audi, and it's weird to see those kinds of failures happening in the Audi because it's nothing to do with the electrical system. The electrical system has been fine, it's been reliable, but for whatever reason, their suspension seems to have had issues. I mean, this is the 3rd one, I think. 2 of them affected Petterhansel, and the 3rd one, through cannibalizing parts, ended up affecting Petterhansel as well. Mr. Dakar really not having a good time with it. But let's look over at some of the other categories. In the bike category today, Danilo Petrucci, in I believe his first Dakar, becomes the first MotoGP rider to win a stage in the Dakar. Won by 2 seconds over Ross Branch, with Ignacio Corneo Farimo being 5 seconds behind Petrucci at the end of the stage. But overall, it's still Sam Sunderland leading from Walkner, with Van Beveren in 3rd. There's also news that Beretta Bort has sustained an injury from a crash today and might not be able to continue, which I'll be ashamed if that's the case. Let's go over to some of the other categories, and let's start off by talking about the trucks. It was another 1, 2, 3, 4 for Kamas today, with Karganov ahead of Sotnikov, ahead of Nikolaev, ahead of Shibalov. There's still Sotnikov that leads by just under 10 minutes. Going across to the quads now, and Giroud has stormed into the lead after confusion in directions for the likes of Antiyar. Capetti, I believe, was also affected. And I think also Maximov meant that Giroud was able to win the special by nearly 13 minutes over Wisniewski, but charges into a 4-minute overall lead. In the overall by Motul, Gazninkas still holds a lead, and with another special win by 3 minutes 23 seconds. In the light prototype class, it's Lopez Contado still in the lead from Ericsson, from Puchetes, and then the stage win went the way of Quintero, though with Francisco Lopez Contado still coming second, extends his advantage over Sebastian Ericsson. In the SSVs, Luis Peter Oliveira still has, well, he's I think he's just gotten into the lead, as far as I'm aware, overtaking Austin Jones in the special. The 4-minute deficit has now gone into a 4-minute advantage. And then if we look at the other classes, such as the Open, only 3 cars in the running here, I believe, and Tremoni has the lead. And then in the Classics, which I haven't really touched on all events, it is Fusta Pliego currently leading in the event. But then they run on a different kind of system where it is like points given out per stage and then added up as a tally. Lowest points, I believe, winning. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.